Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to all my meat rabbit breeders. So this is our main colony. This is the only colony with rabbits in here right now, and we have 7 breeding does in here and 1 breeding buck. We also have 2 other bucks that are in tractors. We'll get to them a bit later. We also have 3 litters of kits that are running around, old enough to be out. We also have 2 more litters in this nest box and this nest box that are too young. They were just born a few days ago, so they're not old enough to be running around, but we have a lot of babies all running around, so I'm going to have to be careful where I step. Okay, why don't we start from oldest to youngest? That way I can keep them straight in my head because there are a lot of rabbits in here. So, this is Lolo. She is a New Zealand. She's black and she is 4 years old. She has produced a lot of kits for us over the years. Her temperament is interesting. She has been around for a while. She's been in different colonies for a while, so she has the possibility of being the herd queen. Like, she could just be like, I'm the best and the oldest and smartest, and so, but her personality is that she doesn't want to be the herd queen or can't. So even though she is the oldest and kind of, we've kept a lot of her daughters, and so she's kind of like the matriarch of our colony now. She is lower down on the totem pole than a lot of the other rabbits. So yeah, she produces smallish litters. We had some rabbits who produced like 10 or 11 babies, but she usually has like 6 or 7 or sometimes 8. This litter she had 5. She is getting older, so we may have to retire her soon, but not yet. So that is Lolo for you. Next oldest is Pepper, or her full name is Peppermint. She is a broken blue. She's a complete mutt. All meat breeds, but she's, let's see if I can remember, half New Zealand, and then her mom was a quarter New Zealand and some Flemish and some Rex, I think, or I think there was one more too. French Lop. So she is just all crazy type of breeds, but she was my favorite bunny from Rosemary's first litter. Rosemary is her mom who passed away, but she was just the sweetest little baby, and she was super nice, and she was nice and big, and her coloring was just gorgeous. I'd always wanted a broken blue rabbit, so I kept her. Pepper was born in November or December, I don't remember exactly right now, so she is a year old. She has become more assertive, not aggressive, but just like kind of less super sweet over as she's gotten older, but that's all right. She still comes over for pettings every once in a while. She's only had 1 litter so far. It was last May, I think. She had 3. That was her first litter. We've had kind of a interesting time this year with breeding. They weren't getting pregnant for a long time because it was hot, and then we had like a buck who was stressing them out, so we had to figure all that stuff out. And then there was sickness too, so we just had a late start to the breeding season. And then she was pregnant and then aborted or resorbed her litter because she was stressed out too much. So now she is pregnant again. We'll see how many babies she has. We'll see how, last time she was a really good mom, but we'll see how she does this time with her second litter. I'm really excited to get some spotted babies from her because she is our only spotted rabbit in here, and I really like spotted because they're just so pretty. Now, Pepper is very interesting. She used to be, her mama was the herd queen, so she was the princess, kind of. And then there was only her and her mom and her dad, so she was second in command because there's only 2 in command to be commanded. So she's had a hard time letting go of her power. She's had so many. She has a nick in her ear from Lolo. Her nose has been scratched up multiple times. She has like a nick out of her face and just wounds and scratches that have been healing all over. But most of it is her fault. I've seen her all the time. There's like rabbit minding his own business. She goes up to her, is like, I'm the boss. And they're like, no, you're not. And then she gets hurt. So she is a very, very interesting rabbit. But she is now, I think, finally accepted her place on the totem pole as a much lower rabbit who either is too scared to stand up for herself or just happens to be the one who always gets hurt. So she wants to be queen, but I don't know if she has the ability to actually stay queen for very long. All right, and then the next oldest, I believe, is Henwin. Henwin is Rinna's full sister, so she was like born to the same mom and the same dad. I think 2 or 3 litters after Pepper, so they are full sisters, even though they don't look nothing alike. Miss Henwin is, I must admit, right now she's my favorite mama. She had the most kids. She had 8, which is really good for her first time. She had them in a nest box, and she adopted Rinna's litter, which is another one of her does. She adopted her babies and then let her Rinna nurse them with her, so that she let another rabbit co-parent with 2 litters, and she's just amazing. This is her first time too, so she's just an amazing mom. Always has enough milk. She got rebred right away. She's pregnant again, and she's due in about a week with her second litter. She's just amazing. Henwin, on first glance, looks exactly like her dad, who also passed away, was Basil. He was a solid blue, but interestingly enough, I'm looking at her in depth, and then her babies also. I think she's a blue steel. So in closer inspection, as she's gotten older, like when she was little, I was like, oh yeah, she's totally a solid blue, but she looks like a blue steel kind of now, and then she had a lot of steel babies, so I do think she is a blue steel. So yeah, if I had to pick one rabbit to keep right now, like mothering ability wise, I would totally pick Henwin. And then Miss Henwin was born, I believe it was like last spring. I think she's like 8 months old or 9 months old or 7 months old as well. Miss Henwin is our herd queen. I've been watching all the rabbits very closely. My very educated and observant guess is that Henwin is the herd queen. She chases everyone away from her babies if she wants to. Just all little things that I can't like explain, but like clue me in. I've been researching rabbit behavior and all that stuff, and she is most likely our herd queen. As a little bunny, Henwin was very feisty, and if I stepped a foot in her tractor for some reason, she'd come up to me like, what are you doing? So she's been always very, she was a really sweet little baby, but as she got older, she was very pushy and bossy. But now that served her well, as she's reached the very top of the totem pole, she's at the top of the pecking order. She's now the queen, and she's very nice to everyone, and me as well, and all the people, and all the rabbits. She's very nice to the babies, but she is the queen, and no one can doubt that. Rinna, who is a, what are you? Okay, let me see if I can remember. It's quarters. 1/4 Champagne d'Argent, 1/4 Rex, 1/4 New Zealand, and 1/4 Flemish, I believe, because of her ears, because they're kind of long. I remember that. Okay, she is a chocolate otter. She's also been a first-time mom. She's doing really well for her first time. It was kind of crazy though. She gave birth and did a really good job, and then abandoned them, and she abandoned her own babies to adopt Henwin's babies, and then she adopted her own babies again when we put her in with Henwin. So it was kind of crazy, but she had 7 really beautiful, healthy babies, and she's doing really good, producing a lot of milk. She's pregnant again as well, so she's doing a great job for her first time. She is, I believe, I don't remember how old she is. She's less than a year old. She's like 8 months or 9 months. I don't know. She's like kind of 8-ish months old. So she's doing a great job with being a first-time mom. If I had to pick a second place on the totem pole, I would pick Rinna. Most likely, my best guess is that Rinna is second place in the totem pole. She is not a Henwin's chased her around a few times, so I think that's why Henwin is the herd queen. But she definitely does her fair share of chasing and bossing in her own rabbity way. So we got a princess or regent or whoever in the hierarchy of rabbit colonies in Rinna. And then here we have, I don't remember who's oldest, Ronwin or Sayla, so I guess we'll just do Sayla first. Sayla is our 7 or 6 months old. She's like just a few years younger than Henwin and Rinna. Harlequin rabbit. She is a Japanese harlequin. That means black and orange all over her. She's so pretty. She also had her first litter, which is 5. None of them were harlequins though, so that made me really sad. But there were a lot of otters, so I like black otters. They're really pretty. So we got some of those. She has been a great mom, feeding them well most of the time. We did have to force her to feed them once, but then she got right back onto feeding them, so she's been doing a great mom. She is very low on the rabbit totem pole. She doesn't fight for a place to be higher. She's very calm and mellow and doesn't really seem to care. As long as you aren't messing with her baby, she doesn't really seem to care who's in charge. So she is nice and mellow and calm and just a really sweet rabbit. Then we come to Ronwin, our buck. I think he's a little younger than Sayla. I could be remembering wrong though, but he is a orange, or I've never been able to find the right term for this color. Some people say fawn, some people say red dilute, like red but it's diluted. I don't know. So I just say orange. I don't know if that's the actual term, but that's what I call it. Bronwyn is our buck. He has successfully bred probably 6 does already. All the babies who have been born right now though are not his. These are Barlow's babies. Our other buck. He was kind of being not aggressive, but like kind of chasing the does a lot and stressing him out. So we removed him from the colony and put Ronwin in, and he is much nicer buck, just chilling with the ladies and being very nice. He is so sweet to the babies. I don't know if he realizes they're not his, because like I don't see how he would know that, but even if he knows they're not his, he acts like they are. When Sayla was giving birth, he was coming in and help wash the babies off with her. He'll peek his little head into a nest box to make sure the babies are okay. He'll snuggle with them once they come out of the nest box. He's so cute to watch, and he's very nice about it too. Sometimes he'll just stand guard with a mama over their babies. Sometimes the mom just sit by and just make sure the babies are okay, and then he'll do that with them. It's just so sweet to watch, and he's very nice with the girls. Even though a lot of them are older than him, he is a very sweet buck. And I'm so excited to see the temperament and the colors of his babies whenever they are born. And Ronwin is a mix of mostly New Zealand with a little bit of American mixed in as well. Then over here, we have one of the twins. I call them. They're not actually twins. I think they were like septuplets because there were 7 of them. But we have 2 sisters from the same litter that we kept from Lolo's babies. This is Adelaide. I think they're like 6 months old, or maybe 5. I think they're more like 5 months old. So Adelaide doesn't have an official color. Adelaide has 2 white tips of her front paws, so both of her front paws have little white on them, and then a patch on her chest has white. So I don't know what that color is. It's not broken. It's not Vienna. It could be a watered down Vienna gene, maybe. I'm not really sure, but she's real pretty, and I was hoping to get lots of pretty babies that look like that from her, because we sell babies as pets or breeders, so good colors are important. But she's been acting strange. Like, she's been acting sick, but then she'll be normal again. But then she's just acting kind of weird. So we will see how long she stays in here. I mean, I'm hoping she recovers just fine, because Pepper was having problems. Those were related to stress, and then she's just fine. She's pregnant, and she's doing great again. So I don't know what Adelaide's deal is, but we're gonna see how it plays out. She may have to be culled from the breeding program, or hopefully she just recovers and is just fine, but we don't know for sure. But her place on the totem pole, she is the bottom of the barrel. She's very nice and sweet and gentle, and like Sayla, she just doesn't care. She's nice and low. I think it helped that she's a baby. She was a baby in here when everyone else is kind of older, so she's been, had her place for a long time. She hasn't had to fight her place to the top. She hasn't had to be pushed to the bottom like Pepper was. She's just always been lower. So yeah, she's very sweet and calm and a great bunny. And this is her twin sister. They're exactly the same age, born the same day. This is Ivy. She is solid black, but she kind of has some steel to her too. So, but she doesn't look like a full steel rabbit. So maybe she's like a diluted steel. I don't really know what her deal is with her coloring, but she is real pretty. She is a proud mama. This litter right behind her is hers. She's been pulling some extra fur for them. She gave birth last night, and so she's been pulling some extra fur to add to them this morning, which is really good. She is, I believe, 5-ish months old as well. She is kind of small. She was always kind of smaller from the babies. We kept her only because we had breakout of coccidiosis, and we were like, oh no, because Rosemary, our breeder doe, died, and then Basil was acting weird. He didn't actually have coccidiosis. He had something else, which we don't really know what it was. But we were like, oh no, everyone's gonna die. And so we were freaking out. So we're like, let's keep all the babies so that we can have at least some babies who survive long enough to hopefully make it through and be strong. So we just kept her. But then we resolved the problem. No one else died. It was great. But then we're like, well, now we have her, and then we just couldn't sell her, and we were just keeping her. So now she's had babies. Hopefully we're going to sell her as a proven doe because we don't need her. We might, but the problem is we want to keep one of Lolo's babies because Lolo is such a good mom. She's like really good at adopting other babies and stuff, so we want to keep her good genetics. But Adelaide, who we were going to keep for sure, is acting bad, and we don't know if we want to keep that in the genetics, so we might eat or sell her. But then Ivy's kind of small. I don't know. The only problem with Ivy is that she's small. She grew very slowly, didn't grow very fast, unlike Adelaide, who grew nice and fast. So if you want meat rabbits, you want them to grow fast so you can eat them fast. So I don't know, but she's doing a great job so far being a mom. She is also very low on the totem pole. Like Ivy, she was a baby whenever she was put in the colony. And so she kind of always had her place at the bottom. Yeah. And Adelaide and Ivy they're both full New Zealand. Lolo, their mama, is full New Zealand. And then their dad, Basil, was also full New Zealand. And Basil is the same dad as Pepper and Henwin. So Pepper and Henwin are two full sisters. Adelaide and Ivy are two full sisters. And then all of them are half sisters. So these two are half sisters. These two are half sisters. They're half. Okay, so yeah, interesting, huh? Oh, and I almost forgot my tractor bucks. We have 2 bucks in tractors that we have for breeding. This is our backup buck. So if anything happens to Ronwin, if he gets sick or if he dies or something, then we don't have to buy another buck real quick, or we don't have to raise up a baby. We just have a buck on hand. This is Ivanhoe. He looks just like Ronwin. He's related to him. Not like super related, but kind of he is. So this is Ivanhoe. He's like 7 or 8 months old as well. He just has been living in a tractor. So Ivanhoe's only purpose here for now is to be here in case something happens to Ronwin. So he's our backup buck. And Ivanhoe is a mix of mostly New Zealand with a little bit of American in him as well. And this is our other buck, Barlow. We did have him as our main breeding buck in the rabbit colony, but he was stressing out the does a lot, and he's produced only black babies. We have all these really pretty does who could have really pretty babies, but we had black otters, black steels, solid blacks, all black. So I think his genetics are so forceful. See, Champagne d'Argent rabbits start out to be black, and then they get silvering as they age. So I think his genetics but sometimes they can just stay black. So I think his genetics are super strong, or his color genetics at least are very strong in making everyone be black. And hopefully we have some babies who silver up. But we want a lot of colors, and he's been kind of not the best buck in a colony, so he's out here for now until we figure out what to do with him. Maybe we'll sell him, maybe we'll eat him. I do want to sell him though, because he is a pedigreed Champagne d'Argent. The pedigree doesn't really matter that much to me, but to some people it does. So right now he's just in prison for bad behavior, kind of. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to press the like button if you did like it, and subscribe for more videos like this, and comment below with any questions or comments you may have. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!